Hello and welcome to HerdNerdz. You are going to love our podcast today because I have some very special people. I have Nate Horman and Carrie, his wife, and they are here to discuss all things cattle, but especially what they're going to do at the Lonestar Wagyu Invitational in Texas in October. Hi, guys. I'm so glad to have you here.
Hi, thanks for
Hello.
having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
I'd love for you to let our listeners know a little bit about yourselves and all of the things that you've done and how you're going to work with our juniors this year.
We can do that. I'm Nate Horman. This is my wife Carrie. As Desi said, we own and operate C&N Cattle Company based out of Roland, Iowa. We're a purebred Simmental operation, two sales a year, production female sale in the fall and a production bull sale in the spring. The majority of those females will be sold as show heifers. The majority of those bulls are true production bulls that are going to go out to run on commercial cows. So we really do understand both ends of the industry, both sides of it, I guess, if you will. We use a lot of extensive AI and embryo transfer work. We've sold cattle nationwide. We tend to judge a lot of shows, judged everything from county levels through state, local, national level shows. Fact is, had the opportunity to judge the Wagyus at the National Western in Denver a couple of times, which we really enjoyed. Enjoyed the people, enjoyed the breed, um, all of those things. You just can't say enough good about it. Then on top of that, we do a lot of work with both the Simmental youth nationwide and with some in the Iowa and the local, and Carrie can probably expound on some of that stuff maybe a little better than what I can actually.
Yeah, he kind of just tags along for those, to be honest. But so we, like Nate said, we do a lot of things for the juniors, both on the local, state, and national levels. Probably the highlight of our summer is the junior nationals, as the Simmental Junior Nationals, which travels every year, and where I started the golf tournament or the foundation golf tournament in 2016, and have done that every year since. And where we raise money for the kids, for their scholarships, for their leadership workshops, some of their travel type of things. So we enjoy that. And then Nate and I also started the barbecue contest a year ago, and so kicked that off also in Des Moines last year, and did that again here again in Tulsa this year. Again, the funds are raised for the kids for their scholarships and leadership workshops. So that's kind of a big highlight for us in the summer, working with those kids nationwide. Um, and then on a more local or state level, we've raised money for our 4-H kids here at our state fair, where those champion and reserve champion division winners do receive either $1,000 for the champion. Reserve is gets 500. Those kids work their tail off all summer long. It's just a little extra reward for them to put in their back pocket. So enjoy doing that. Working with the youth here, working with our breeders here along the state to raise those funds, and there again, and then to reward those kids here on a local level. It brings a big smile to their face, and definitely we definitely like to recognize those kids. So um, a little bit on the junior, more so besides fundraising. Like Nate said, a lot of our heifers go out as 4-H projects or junior projects, and so we are constantly in touch with those kids, with those parents, giving them pointers, giving them advice, kind of, I guess, fostering those relationships, and really honing in on what they're doing, how we can improve. Consulting, that's the word I was looking for. But with them, and how they can improve. What they're always asking questions, and we're definitely here to answer those, work through some maybe some challenges, and then go to help those kids at whatever shows that whether it's at their county fair, their state show, state state fair, whatever the case may be. We're there to support those families along the way as well.
People don't realize how much other people give to help kids. And I've been really bad in my podcast because I haven't really thanked everybody that donates and works hard and donates money, donates to auctions. We're always needing funds, but honestly, you guys that donate the money, if you could see those kids smile and how happy they are, and we always try to give something to everybody. And I think there's something people need to realize too: when the kids are showing their cattle in our shows, we do not judge on the phenotype of the animal. It's all about the showmanship. So, we're directly involved in just promoting those kids and the hard work. And, to all the parents, I mean, endless and countless, drive and riding and get up in the morning and
Yep.
feed that calf and wash that calf. And I mean, for everybody that donates money to the juniors and to the kids programs, I just want to thank you so much because it really is a great cause. And when you have people like the Hormans that also help so much, I mean, it is a great cause to donate. So I just, no matter what breed of cattle you have, so I just want to put that in there. But moving on, how about telling us a little bit about what you feel is important for the kids to learn when you do, like you're going to do our entire full day for the kids, and let's talk a little bit about what you feel is important for the juniors to learn.
So I guess kind of what we've got in mind, or Carrie and I have talked about in regards to that clinic, is we're going to run that. We're going to kind of run it all encompassing. The thought process, if you will, is that we're going to look at it from that calf basically on weaning day, or your project on weaning day, whether it's coming out of your own herd or you're purchasing it or wherever. But that's essentially the starting point, and we're going to follow that all the way through, actually after post show, through the breakdown process, and returning to the stall, and everything in the middle. And so we kind of, when we've done these things in the past, I've found the easiest way, or the best way, I think that most effective, I guess is probably the best way to put it. We run it kind of informal, but that's kind of the way that it progresses. And we'll start with some of those weaning tips and those nutrition type tips. How do we get that calf to transition from living on mama to now all of a sudden is going to live on its own, and needs to eat and exercise and do all the things that they need to do to be functional. I mean, let's face it, they have to be a good feeder calf before they're going to be a good show calf. And
That's right.
so we'll start there, and then we'll go through some breaking tips and how to get those halter broke. And I think I don't want to call it a right and a wrong way, because there's multiple ways to go about that, but there are certainly some tips in there that are more effective than others, and it really helps long term. I think if you get started on the right foot and you build that right foundation, I think you've got a successful project for the next year or two. But if you start out in a fight with him, you're probably still going to be fighting with him 2 years down the road.
Yeah, the key there is learning the environment that you're providing for that calf, and trying to make that as positive as possible. And like Nate said, setting that foundation from the get go is definitely key. And so that's one important thing I want the kids to understand is is a positive environment, but for both them and their calf is will set them up for a lot of success long term.
Well, it basically comes down to building that trust, and understanding that as a show person, and that calf, your business partners. You have to work together.
Your teammates.
It's your teammates. That's the best way
That's
of putting
right.
it.
Yeah.
And so we'll start there. Excuse me. We'll go through some daily care things, some routine daily care, whether it be hair care, skin care, basic nutrition. And then we'll kind of move on into, we'll either go to showmanship then, or we'll go more to like a clipping scenario. And some of that prep work that gets done at home prior to loading the trailer and going to the show. And then we'll kind of round it out with some fitting tips and different ways to address that and how, different cattle get fit differently. And then we'll finish it out with, at the end of the day, when you're done showing, all of that product has to come back out of them. And
That's right.
so I think that's, in my mind, that's kind of the best way to approach that. And we'll kind of leave it open for questions, discussion all day long. I've always been a believer that if you're sitting in the crowd someplace and you have a question, go ahead and ask it, because more than likely somebody else has the same question. And so if we can get all of those out there and kind of do it as a big forum type setting, if you will, there's always something that everybody can learn from everybody. I think every time we put a clinic on, it never fails. Carrie and I will learn something from somebody there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's just kind of best if everybody can kind of share all those ideas together.
Yeah, that's one key thing I also want the kids to understand is we're 30 years into this business, 30 plus, I should
30
say.
plus.
Not to date us, but we're still learning. It's a constant learning curve with this. And once you think you got stuff figured out, guess what? You're going to learn something new. So I think Mother Nature, or God, has a way of throwing some curveballs at us to keep us on our toes. And we're constantly learning, and so that's one thing I want to hone in on the kids is, ask questions, be a lifelong learner in this business, because the cycle never ends, really.
And I think the other thing that we want, that not just the kids, the families, I guess, if you will, to take away from this is there needs to be some interaction and some time there to get to know each other and meet people in the business, people that are, like-minded, and we learn to work together. And one of the things that we strive and really emphasize to our customers and the families that we work with is everybody wins as a team, everybody loses as a team. We just came out of the Iowa State Fair with a large string there, several exhibitors, and everybody's working together. When those cattle come back from the wash rack, it doesn't matter if it's your heifer or somebody else's heifer. Hop on a blower, and we're all going to get it done together.
Right. Well, and there's differences in coats too. The Wagyu don't seem to have a lot of hair. Well, your breed doesn't either, does it? I mean,
No,
I'm
they
not
do
very
not.
familiar with it, but I think they're about the same as Wagyu as far as coat.
Very close.
Some are hairier than others, just kind of depending on genetics, but in hair and color
and management.
Yeah, the reds tend to have less hair than the blacks. It's just like I said, it's a genetic thing. And like Nate just said, a key thing within our breed and really any breed boils down to management. And if you're putting in the grind and the time and all the effort, you will be rewarded. Now, if you're wanting to go play with your friends, in which we all have to do that too, but that's where that discipline comes in and the work ethic comes in. So, I mean, if you're willing to do all those things, you will be rewarded in the end. And those that don't, they still have some things to learn. So.
Right. And, there's so many different types of show feeds. I'm just blown away trying to figure everything out all the time, It's just, I mean, it's just unbelievable. All of the different, and then you go from the feed to the supplements. Now that's blows your mind.
Bucket of magic in every one of them, isn't there?
Exactly. Every one of them's got, and the names, is just, high octane, bloom, all of those supplements. You just really don't know how to narrow it down, but, good feed, a great feed, good forage, clean water, and really all the essentials for all cattle, not just show cattle.
It boils down to the basics. And sometimes those basics, like you said, clean water, and making sure they have mineral, salt, mineral. Those basics are sometimes forgotten, and those things are essential. And so If you walk around our place, you won't see a whole lot of pretty show feed bags, because what we feed is pretty. I don't want to say basic, but it boils down to basics. And so, um, yeah, like we talked to, there's a bucket of magic in every supplement or whatever. But at the end of the day, kind of keep it simple, stupid, for the just true performance of the animal.
Well,
Right.
the motto that we live by around here is functional cattle with style, and
Right.
you have to start there. If it's not functional to begin with, it will never be functional.
Right.
That's right. That's right. And they do bloom on their own. So,
Yep.
Absolutely.
that's something that you have to keep in mind. They're going to bloom. Now, I have seen them bloom at different times,
Yep.
Yep.
and I have seen some I thought, oh boy, I don't know about this one. And then 2 months later, he's the best looking one out there.
Yep.
It's,
Yep. And that comes down to management. Really, it does. And what is your end goal? If
yeah.
your end goal is earlier in the season, great. If you're looking more long term, you kind of have to manage that critter, and knowing when that end is coming, and get them to that 12 o'clock peak when you're ready for it.
Yeah, and I have a question I want to ask you. This kind of off the subject, but have you noticed that there are more kids that are interested in showing or less kids that are interested in agriculture lately?
I think from my perspective, what I've seen anyway, and I think Carrie would agree with me on this. I think there's actually more. However, I think the background or the dynamics of those youth that are showing have changed drastically in the last probably 10 years, where we used to get a lot of youth that had a lot of ranch or big production background. They came from a big cow herd. They came from a feedlot setting. They came from, something in production agriculture, to where now it seems like we've gotten more youth, if you will, showing, but it's almost the essential of playing like club volleyball or club softball or something, where this is their sport, and it's really, it might be a product of two parents that basically both live on W-2 income, which is perfectly fine and it's great. But they do have an acreage or a small, someplace they can keep
Uh
a
huh.
show calf, and they own a herd of two, um,
Right.
which we need all of those scenarios in this business. We
Yes, we
definitely do.
do. Yes, we do. We need everybody to
Yes,
have fun and spend time together and learn because
yes,
the more you learn, I mean, you can never, knowledge is never a bad thing. And
No.
I
exactly.
agree with you. And the more we can provide, the more choices they have to go and learn, the better for the kids. And, it's good to stay off that phone sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I have fair warning, kids. I have no trouble calling you out of calling you thumbs in front of everybody. So, and if you've got earbuds in your ear, go ahead and pull those suckers out,
That's
because
right.
you are definitely distracted at that point in time. It's kind of disrespectful in my mind, to the people that are trying to talk to you and whatnot. So just a heads up, you will be asked to remove those, and I won't have any hesitation to call you out if you're on your phone. So the kids that work out of our barn or we have around here, uh, we give them a hard time. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of fun, but at the same time, they know the expectation is, hey, we've got work to do, and
Right.
we can play afterwards as much and as hard as we'd like, but when there's work to be done, let's get after it. So, um, but we work hard, we play hard with the kids. Some are easier to kind of get that through them than others, but at the end of the day, we're all here for each other. Um, but yeah, that technology is a great tool, but at times it needs to be put aside.
Well, and I really think too, as you guys are getting ready and coming to this wonderful event, one of the things you want to keep in mind is you've only got 3, 4 days, 2, 3, 4 days down there. Use that time to the best that you can. And when you're not working on your calf, do something to foster relationships. Whether that's relationships with other juniors or other parents, because it's not going to be that many years down the road where you may be in the job market and you never know who's going to be sitting across the desk on an interview. And it sure helps if it's somebody that you've met and talked to at a show a lot, or
That's right.
and made a positive impact. Or I love to tell the story. A couple years ago, we were headed for Grand Island for junior nationals on a Sunday evening, and managed to blow not one, not two, but 3 trailer tires, all in the course of about 20 miles.
I would say 45 minutes because it took a while.
Yeah. Had it not been for relationships of knowing breeders in a different state that had connections
At
to
8 o'clock on
yes,
Sunday
to get a co-op to open up to get us back on the road, we'd probably still be sitting there if we weren't ran over by now. So build those relationships. They're key not only in this business, but they're key in life.
Oh, and we all know those blown tires.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody can sit here and watch this podcast that's ever hauled cattle that doesn't know the experience of blown tires.
Yep, and the fenders that get destroyed along with it.
Yep.
So,
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. I'm just thankful when I'm not on a bridge and it happens. I just
yeah.
immediately say thank you, Lord, for not letting this happen a mile back on that bridge or something like that. Because
Absolutely.
there are worst case scenarios.
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, everybody knows about that. So I mean, and that is kind of what goes with it too. That's part of what can happen and does happen, and I think we've all experienced it. So yeah,
yeah.
that's a good story about
And going back
meeting
to
people.
Yeah, and I grew up, Nate grew up in the steer business. I grew up in the Simmental business. And so going to the junior nationals, I've been doing since, gosh, I was probably early teenage years. And, still today, some of the people that I think are some of my closest or bestest friends, live several states away. I don't know how many moms or how many dads I have programmed in my phone because they're family,
Uh-huh.
and so that has stemmed from a very long time ago, and I definitely wouldn't trade it for the world. And so um, that's why Nate and I really do encourage kids, make friends. Obviously you want to friends your same age, but those parents of those kids or of your peers are also very influential. I lost my dad a little over a year ago, and one of the guys that called me shortly after that, he popped up, and his name is Daddy Doug in my phone. And so, it's moments like that that really count when you need someone that's very influential. Um, that you can always kind of pull back from way back when, and lean on in those tough times, because we definitely know that this business is not always rainbow, sunshine, and butterflies. So
No.
it definitely can be challenging, and life can throw some things, curveballs at you. And those cattle people, those relationships are really, at the end of the day, help you get through it. So we
Right.
definitely
And
encourage a lot of that.
I just want to give a shout out to my other team members who aren't here with us, but Rhonda Heskett and Sarah Bailey and Tammy Yoder. We were the originals that started junior program, and then of course Kyle. He's one of our favorite people, and Jim Scartweet. He's on our little panel. And also, we want to thank the Texas Wagyu Association for their support and getting this going. They wanted this, and I just think it's going to be wonderful. But you are right. We are hoping that not only will we get a lot of juniors show up, but we have a great opportunity for an open show, and we do have entries, more entries than I've seen in a long time in the open show. And we want vendors to come, and of course, we're going to have a chef cooking great wagyu. So I mean, who can turn that down? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just icing on the cake. And it's going to be, it'll be free. The Wagyu dinners are free. We're trying to make it because it takes a lot of money, a lot of effort for parents to bring their kids. Just to go on a trip anywhere takes a lot nowadays. So we want to try to make it as, economical for them as possible. And so we're going to have everybody's donating Wagyu beef, and we have a wonderful chef. And I just think it's going to be, like you said, the camaraderie, the getting together, the building relationships. And I've built a lot of relationships in the Wagyu industry. And there are times when your favorite people, you just see them when you go to shows.
Yep.
You
Yep.
look them up because everybody's going to be there, and that's the fun that comes out of
Oh yeah,
taking part
we have
in
this debate
these.
every summer of what week is the best week of the summer. I will say it's junior nationals because, like you said, I look forward to seeing those people. That might be the only time of the year that I get to see them.
Right.
Nate will agree with that, but he is still a big fan of our state fair as well. So, um, and I'm a second on that as well. But so we have this debacle or debate every summer. Since Nate has gotten into the Simmental breed, he's gotten to know a lot of people. Um, yeah, we have this debate of what's the best week of the summer, and I will stick with junior nationals all day long. So
That's great. That's great. And what I love about it too is how the kids are so excited when they win prizes. And I have uh, with the other ladies and the people that we have together. We have some great prizes we're going to give away at this event too. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but they are
yeah,
really nice. And once again, we want to thank our sponsors because without them, we couldn't have those buckles and things like that. And we love that the kids are able to take those home with them and feel really proud and know that they did a great job and won them. So we're
and
looking
with
forward
those
to that.
awards, those are things that you guys can, whether they're collecting dust on a shelf when you're 30, 40 years old, or stuffed away in a tote. It's kind of funny. I just opened up a tote here over the weekend, and it was a lot of my junior nationals show shirts
Uh
from
huh.
from way back in the day, and it was it was just nice to reminisce. And I'm like, oh yeah, that
Right.
year I showed that heifer, or hey, that happened at that show, that type of thing. So and today the kids are getting some really nice awards versus when I was showing in the junior program. But either way, it'll stick with you. Whether
Yes.
it's something, like I said, something that can collect dust on the shelf, or you can put on display, whatever the case may be. Yeah, just and the one thing that we definitely encourage our kids to do. Um, there's two words in this dictionary that go a long way with a lot of people, and it's the words "thank you." And we encourage our kids to tell their parents, tell their grandparents, whoever got them there, go tell them thank you. And the sponsors, those, like you said, you can events like this takes an army, and it doesn't happen without the generosity of our supporters. So if whether you're writing a physical thank you, which is always great to receive, or you're walking up to them and shaking their hand, that's something that's kind of been forgotten in this industry, unfortunately. So we definitely encourage our kids to, thank their families, thank the people that are there helping them, whether it's fitters or whatever the case may be, um, and go support or go tell the people that put on the show, uh, tell them thank you, because there's a lot of countless hours that nobody sees that it takes to put events on like this.
Right. I mean, you are so right. And kids do need to appreciate their parents and realize, there's a lot of people that don't have parents that care about their children and really take care of them and put the effort in to get them places and do things for them. Plus, it costs money to get all of this done. And they are really fortunate to have parents like the parents we meet and the people we know that really take care of their children and make sure that they learn things and get to travel and go places and do things, or can have, a calf. And I mean, it's a, it's a thankless job at times, but it really makes it great when the kids do say thank you, to the parents,
It
and the
does.
parents are
And it doesn't
appreciated.
have to. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be every kid, but I mean, if just one or two kids comes up to you, or you receive a thank you in the mail, man, does it go a long ways. And it just it helps you forget about all those late nights, or those countless hours of going, what am I doing this for, type of thing. But
Right. Like, why did I volunteer for
yeah,
this?
what was I thinking?
Well, and I would encourage them as well to stay in contact
Hmm.
after the project with the breeders who bred those cattle.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah.
nothing that we absolutely love more than to get a phone call or a text or a picture or something 2, 3 years down the road and says, "Hey, look what this one raised," and it's like, wow, now that's really came full circle.
Yep, I love to say that's one of my babies. Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. That's what you like to say. I agree 100%. And, it's just pride in what you do. And we really need that here in the U.S. Most agricultural kids, I'll just say this, I feel are raised, with that pride and sense of pride in, what they do. And I just appreciate that so much. It's a great thing. I mean, at rodeos, they bring out the American flag, and,
Hmm.
the cowboys take their hats off, and there's no better feeling than seeing that when a rodeo kicks off. And
Yeah.
same way at any of our 4-H county fairs, wherever we are, being an American and having the flag and, paying tribute to your country, that's always a big thing among ranchers and farmers. And I really like that aspect of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do the at our beef expo. They sing the national anthem every single morning, and you take a huge cattle barn that's got blowers and radios and whatever going, to pure silence in about 2.3 seconds, is when that national anthem is has started. And so I would agree. It's we're blessed to be in the agricultural industry in this part of the world, because we do learn that respect. We do learn the hard work that goes into everything that we get back out of it. Um, and so yeah, I couldn't agree more in terms of being proud of who we are and what we do.
Right. And, the cattle that we show are American Wagyu, and I'm excited about that, even though their genetics are from Japan. We here in the U.S. we have American Wagyu, and they're wonderful cattle, and they have a great everybody knows about their steaks. You don't have to say too much to brag about Wagyu beef, and so, we're proud of that, and proud of our above prime ratings, and just want to invite everybody to come out and enjoy this, and have their kids show at our event. And so, everybody needs to get ready because it's coming up in October, and I'm very excited to have you guys there because you can bring so much and offer so much for those kids to learn. It's different when you have them and maybe you just try to talk to them, but when you bring professionals in like yourselves, that just takes it to another level. And I think the kids are really going to enjoy being with you and appreciate and listen to you because you do have, you such experience in this business.
No, we,
Yeah.
we look forward to it. I would also encourage any breeders of the Wagyu breed, whether you have cattle showing there or you have kids there or not, I'd encourage you to come out and be a spectator. I
Yeah.
know as a breeder, it's always wonderful to get out and look at other people's genetics. I can tell you if I'm judging a multi-breed show, it probably takes me longer to judge the Simmental division than anything else on a per head basis anyway, because I will spend more time standing out there analyzing them. And half the time in my mind, I'm going, okay, what did I do right and what did I do wrong? but
Yes.
so yeah, I would encourage you, even if you don't have cattle in the show, come on out. There's always something you can learn, something you can see. Is there a sale with this event? Am I thinking?
No,
Yeah,
there's not a sale
there's
with
not.
this event, but we already have entries from people pretty much all over the U.S. And so I'm very excited to see those genetics. And, I'm looking forward to showing us. I've got some cattle I'm bringing too. And I want to just I'm going for the camaraderie to see what other people are
Yeah,
breeding, the phenotype of other cattle,
yeah,
I'm real big on that, but I just want to meet everybody and hope everybody gets together
yeah.
and you know we hand out our cards now. We put our numbers in our phone, but yeah, I think it'll be great to
And
have
you're
it
going to
there.
order up some nice, cool Texas weather for us that weekend as well, aren't
Oh, oh, definitely. I'm from the I'm on the Tennessee line up in the mountains. Yes. I do want that nice cool weather and I
you?
think we'll
Yes,
get it. I hope so. We're going to get down in the 50s next week, so that's going to be, pretty good for us. Of course, you're going to get a little chillier, I think, but
We were in the
um
40s over the weekend,
yeah.
and
and
oh,
going to be again this weekend. So
yeah,
looking forward to that, and hopefully we can have some comfortable weather while we're there in Texas because it just seems like it's good weather. Everybody's in a good mood. So
yeah.
I know somebody told me, well, let's have that event in July. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it in
no,
July.
now just come back to Amarillo. No, we're not in July or August. Uh,
Until they invent a full suit I can wear with one of those round things over my head where I don't, yeah. And it's air conditioned. No, And my cattle too, they're really spoiled. All of mine have fans in the barn, and they, and it's funny the way they get right in front of the fan.
oh yeah.
They know what that fan is, and they
Oh
are
yeah,
there.
we had a heifer in the barn this summer, and I just point over here because her pen is right here. But her water tank was sat right in front of the fan, and she would literally stand right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was pretty comical. And then you go over to give her a little bit of attention, and she just kind of looked at you like, "What? What's the big deal?" So and that's the really coming back to the teammate part of it. um, Building that relationship with that calf. Yes, there's expectations of the work that you have out of one another, but they all have personalities, and you get to learn their quirks. They get to learn yours. And some are more fun to be around than others, and so yeah, it's really comes full circle whenever it comes down to it. But yeah, they do enjoy their fans, that's for sure, and so
They
do
do.
us.
I have a big bull, great big bull, and he'll lay down and lay up against the bull panel, right up against where the fan is. So it just and he just falls asleep. I thought I didn't know. I saw him laid out one day. I'm like, oh my gosh! I run over there and he's He just barely opened his eyes, and I'm like, okay, you're just
You're still
enjoying that
breathing.
fan. But yeah, it's funny the way they are. It's and you are right. They all have different personalities, and some are a lot easier than others. And
Yeah.
I want to put something in the steer show, but I call it the crazy eyes. Have you ever had one that just
Oh, yeah.
gives you the crazy eye? And I'm like, when I first got him, I said, "Why did you give me the pick this one?" They go, "Well, he was the best looking one out of the bunch." I said, "Yeah, but he's got the crazy eye."
Oh, yeah. Yep, and they definitely are distinctive as well.
Yes, and they're the ones that when you go in, they back up. You know, they don't care if you have gourmet food in the tray. They are not coming. And
Yeah.
I said, well, this one's going to take a long time, and he has. So I don't know.
Question for you, Desi. Do we have anybody visiting from other countries at this event
Yes,
that you
I
know of?
believe I do. Yes, we are going to have some people from Australia there, and I know we'll have somebody from Canada that will be there. So whether I don't really look at Canada as another country, but it's our border. Yeah, it's a yeah, they'll be there, and we I think we're going to have. We have people from as far away we have some entries from um, you know Colorado, and Idaho and Alabama and Florida and Texas, of course, and I mean just from Missouri, from all over. So I'm excited about it.
Good. Very good.
That'll be excellent.
Yep, and we
It's always
get the
fun to
whole
see the different.
place.
Yep. It's always fun to see the different types and kinds of cattle that work in different parts of this nation too.
Right, right, right. And I just and there's people there I actually have not met before, so I'm really excited about it. So, yeah, it's going to be great. So, for all of you listening in, please mark your calendars for October 24th, 25th, 26th. Come on out and have some food, but you have to register. Go to our website for the invitational, the Lonestar Wagyu Invitational.com, and sign up to get your free food ticket. We want you to visit even if you're not going to show your cattle. And we will have some cattle available. If you have kids and you raise Wagyu and you're interested in, coming to the show, give us a call or email us, and we'll try to line you up with somebody else that'll have a nice little calf for them to show and to go to this. It'd be great for them to sign up to go to this all day clinic and have this great learning opportunity. So we really want to encourage as many people as we can to get signed up. So, is there anything else we want to discuss?
We're just excited to come to Texas. We're excited for a vacation, to be honest with you. We are leaving 2 days after our heifer production sale, so we're kind of ready for a vacation and ready to fly down there and eat a little a good beef in the process, and
Yes.
and meet everybody, and just we're just really excited to get out and
just have a good time.
Yes.
Yep, that's what it's all about. Well, we appreciate all of you that listened in, and we hope to see you there. And we want to thank you from HerdNerdz and CNN Cattle. But we'd love for you to come and join us in Texas in October. Check out the website and sign up. Thank you so much, guys, for being on here. Nate and Carrie, I really appreciate you. And for all our listeners, we will talk to you later. Bye bye.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.